Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, presented by Cinematic Visions, and another edition of Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane. I'd have to say there's been some reconcilable differences over the past couple of weeks, but they are all reconcilable, and mostly they're great. And a lot of it has to do with an epic day of my birthday, which, as you hear this, is yesterday, August 6th. I won't say how many birthdays it is, but it's plenty of birthdays. And it turned out to be a wonderful birthday, but it certainly had its ups and downs and took circuitous routes to a wonderful conclusion. We also recently have done something a little different and had really authentic Thai food with great friends and old friends and new friends. That's kind of fun. We each are completing books that we've been reading for a long time and looking ahead to new books. I'm looking ahead to getting rid of this cold, which I hope you can tell I have, because if you can't tell that I have it, that means that I don't sound so great and perfect all the time. But anyway, we also have been engaging in classic films, the Olympics, where you could just spend 24/7 watching everything from kayaking to breakdancing to synchronized artistic swimming. But mostly we've focused on track and field and things like that, which is fun. And also, on Tuesday, August 6th, we voted. And we're not going to talk politics about that. We're just going to talk about the fact that it's really important and enjoyable and a feeling of accomplishment to just go vote. And it's easy, and I'll talk a little bit about that. That might stray only slightly into politics, but only slightly. Mostly it's just to say voting is cool. And we get to do it in this country, and people around the world can't always do it. So all that's on the plate today on Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, presented by Cinematic Visions, and this edition of Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. Well, I've survived another year on this planet, and that included yesterday's birthday. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the literally hundreds of people who thank me on Facebook or wish me happy birthday. They didn't thank me. They just wish me. They didn't thank me for being here. They just wished me happy birthday, and that's fantastic. It makes you feel good. And I tried to reach out to many of them, but didn't get to all. And if you were one of them, I didn't even say like to. I apologize, and thank you for happy birthday wishes. I went to bed on Monday kind of knowing that Jane might have, in her busy world, not realized that August 6th was upon us, or that August 6th triggers a memory, because she had said really nothing all of August 5th. And usually she'll say something like, well, what do you want to do for your birthday? Or do you have anything that you'd like to have? And so none of that was happening. So I figured I'll just let this play out. This could be funny. So I wake up in the morning, and there's just a lot of times, if there's an occasion or sometimes no occasion, there'll be a little greeting card on my computer in my office. So that wasn't there. So then I know she definitely doesn't remember. She died. And then I walked out, and Jane's sitting there having her breakfast or her coffee, and says, "The stock market went way down." I'm like, she definitely doesn't know it's my birthday. But eventually, you would realize it. Eureka, a couple of hours later.
Well, it wasn't a couple of hours. I was literally on my phone, and dingbat me, I was looking at Facebook, and suddenly your birthday notification came up. I'm like, oh my God, that's my husband. And I was like, oh dear. Oh dear.
But you really had remembered, because she had 2 cards at the ready that were already done, and since she couldn't have raced out of the house and gotten them, obviously she was prepared for that, but in the end felt bad, and then you spent your day having a little fun going around and treating yourself and treating me eventually.
Yes, I had this all in my mind a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to get you, and then I was going to go get a cake and blah, blah, blah. Luckily, yesterday I had a little time after a meeting, so I ran all over town. I was at Fabulous Andre's for a quick lunch and got you a little beautiful carrot cake, and then ran all over town looking for a better and newer man bag for you. And I ended up going all the way back across town to the Coach Outlet store to get you what I knew you really wanted.
And what I needed, I don't think I ever really said that I wanted it, but it's a much newer and better and slightly bigger version of the bag that I have that I willingly take abuse about, and people are willing to poke fun at me for carrying a man bag or a purse or a merce or whatever you want to call it. But it's convenient for me. I probably set aside my phone and don't remember it less than any person, because it's got a side pocket that's perfect for that. I get to carry any medications I need, and a hairbrush, and all the things that mostly the phone is the most important thing. So anyway, it was a lovely gift and a lovely cake, although obviously I'm an idiot. So we went out to the district poorhouse here in Shawnee for a little dinner. And just before we left, my present hadn't been opened yet. And I said, well, why don't we just, because I'd seen this lovely cake in the refrigerator. And I said, well, why don't we just go and have a little dinner and then come back here and we can have the cake and open the presents. And Jane was very upset with me that I hadn't just said, what a lovely cake, and had taken the sting out of, or the surprise out of the whole occasion, which I was obviously an ignoramus.
Well, it was like, there was supposed to be a build-up, but I had to get the cake out of the box because it took forever, and I needed to prep this, and we were doing some other stuff prior to that, so I was trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and all I wanted you to say was something like, oh, what a beautiful cake, and you had already turned it into a list. Well, why don't we get to the dessert later, and then open the presents? I'm like, well, should we just go blow our nose?
Anyway, there was plenty of romance in the air. That probably interceded in our trains of thought. And
yes.
Anyway, it all ended up working out. But I got to have an operatic moment with my dear wife. When you see Jane perform, which she will in the fall on a couple of occasions, you'll see the emotion and passion that she brings to her singing, which she also can bring to other occasions, maybe in not such a lovely way, but
he's being very nice about it.
That's the reconcilable differences part of this particular portion of the program. But anyway, in the end, it was a lovely birthday. I talked to my daughter Cassidy from over in the Netherlands, and that was great. My mom and my sister sent me lovely cards. And I'm going to talk to my mom today. I hope. Sometimes she's tough to run down. She doesn't have a cell phone. She had one for a while, but she really just never used it, or she'd forget it. So you have to call her at her lovely apartment where she now has her own. It's independent living. And she's doing great. She's almost 90 years old, and my mom's in good health and lucky to have that. And that's a great wish to have. And she writes still in beautiful cursive, which her little nieces and nephews, all 17 of them, have told her that they can't read it. So when she sends cards, she has to print for them. but I can still read her lovely cursive, and even her age. It's smooth and beautiful, and a sign of another time. Speaking of lovely and beautiful, Topeka has been, well, I'm not sure I'll ever describe Topeka as lovely and beautiful, but it's okay, and it's getting better, and they're working hard at making Topeka a fun place, and it's the capital of our state, our great state of Kansas. So actually, I went to a concert. I went and saw 38 Special there a couple weeks back, and we went for a lovely dinner on Sunday at Danny Miller and his lovely wife, Tui, and she is of Thai ancestry, and she made Thai food. And it was out of this world great. And Danny's a great guy, and I've met him by circumstance. He's a longtime listener to 810 and has won a couple of DannyClinkscale.com concerts. And so we get together every now and then halfway at the 23rd Street Brewery, one of our great sponsors. And we've gotten to be good friends. And just coincidentally, serendipitously, Danny is good friends with one of Jane's friends.
Yeah, it's so strange. One of my dear twin friends that I grew up with since preschool on, we've been friends for life. And so it's a very odd, serendipitous thing that your friend Danny happened to work with my friend Kyle when he was teaching.
And it took a while for us to connect the dots because he knows her as Kai. I know her as Kyle. And he was saying, I know somebody who's good friends with your wife. And I'm, who is it? It's Kai. And I'm like, first of all, I'm thinking it's Kai, like Kia, like it's sort of an Asian name or something like that, So anyway, eventually we figured out that that's what it was. And I actually am not the biggest fan of Thai food in general. And this food was out of this world. And I also am not a fan of the flavor of the flavor profile of curry, but she makes
her green curry
her
was
green
just
curry is
fantastic.
really just kind of a lovely spice addition to rice, and it was
fabulous,
out of this world.
And she made her own dumplings and egg rolls. That's not easy to do.
It was fantastic. And Danny has this really cool sports memorabilia area, and he has a wide variety of beers, which a couple of which will be featured over the next couple editions of Thirsty Thursday, Sense and Nonsense. So that was just lovely, and you get to see Kyle again, and they're such great friends, and you really went quite a long time where you didn't see the two of them.
We were all kind of off doing other things. They were raising families. I was performing and all that. So it's been great to reconnect. Love seeing them.
It is a wonderful thing, and one of our shared passions is. We don't sit down and read to each other or anything, but we read quite a bit, and I've gotten to read a little bit more as time has gone on, and have done the podcast more than just going to work on a regular basis. And usually before I take a little nap in the afternoon, that's when I read, generally, and it's probably maybe 10 or 15 pages at a time, tops. But I've just completed the book The Boys by Ron Howard and his brother Clint Howard. Ron Howard, of course, the famed child actor and film director. And he was Opie, and he was Richie Cunningham, obviously. And Clint is his brother, who you've seen in many, many of Ron's movies. He was the flight engineer in Apollo 13. That's probably the one you remember. He's a sort of unbecoming, bald man who has played many, 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 many roles in his career, while Ron Howard has basically given up acting and become an Academy Award-winning director and made many of the highest grossing movies of all time and works still to this day. Did the Beatles documentary a couple of years ago. Anyway, it's a fascinating book. It's about their childhood. It basically ends when Ron's about 22 years old and is just embarking on his directorial career. And it's very interesting. It's the backstory is their parents were an actor and actress. His mother retired. And it's told, basically, it says Ron, and then he'll tell a little story, and then it'll say Clint, and he'll tell a story. And Clint went through some substance abuse issues, but mostly it's a story of passion for their craft, family love. And I've always said this, that to me, Ron Howard is one of the greatest actors of all time. He's probably known more obviously as a great director, but I think nobody portrayed children between The Courtship of Eddie's Father and The Music Man and Opie and Richie Cunningham more genuinely than Ron Howard. So I know you're looking forward to reading that book as you finish up your epic Lincoln book.
Yes. And before I get to that, I just wanted to say I was looking at